We're currently live on, the lighting, live on Facebook, YouTube, and we're also live on Instagram. It's the ultralifeshow.com. And you can also find us at Blog Talk Radio Ultra Life. Today we have our special guest, Glory Spurlock.
Hi.
She's right there. See her?
It's me.
Some of you can't see her, you can only hear her, but she's here, I promise.
Totally am.
She's a designer of Your Money Mansion website and the 30-day Budget Builder Challenge. She created both to help others learn how to take control of their financial world, and this is the second time she's been on our show. And greet her here. Yay, she's here. So this little setup of ours is a little new, so working out some bugs with it, but it should be exciting. You can find us everywhere now. Almost everywhere, except for Snapchat. I haven't figured that one out yet, but eventually I will. So Glory's here, a little bit of ultralifeshow.com. What we talk about is business, life, and relationship. Whatever you're doing, you're always having to deal with business. And you're alive if you're watching this, so you have a life to live. So we'll have experts from different areas of business and life and relationships, since that's part of life also. Because relationships and relationship exist with everyone everywhere. So if you're in working, if you're in a relationship, if you're a brother, son, daughter, father, mother, or business relationships, whatever you're looking for, we're looking for you to have the ultra life that's possible for you. And that's what the show is about. So Glory's here to share a little bit about her Money Mansion company. And first of all, I'd like to ask you why did you decide to do this? Why are you doing this?
For a long time, I wondered what my purpose was. I'm not sure if anybody else has had that issue, but I suspect so. And I finally realized that I have this passion for money management. And what I mean by that isn't investing or things of that nature, but more learning how to manage the money that you have. And I love budgeting and controlling my money so I know what
She loves it.
I do.
She loves it.
That's the definition of a passion, right? So I realize that there are a lot of people that don't love that, and it doesn't matter the reason, there are lots of them. But I would like to share the knowledge on how to do that, because very many people, most people, don't have sufficient savings for emergencies or retirement. They're massively in debt, and these are all things that are very detrimental, not only to your financial future, but to even things such as marriages and relationships. I mean, money is a big stress, and if we learn to figure it out, then we're going to be a lot happier now and in the future.
Yep, money and sex are the two biggest things that apparently marriages fail. Makes sense. So, what are you here to share with us today? You were talking about the 5 W's, is that what you're saying? The 5 W's?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. So the 5 W's of budgeting. So if you're sitting there and you're wondering, why would I do a budget? Or, how do I do a budget? That's what we're going to talk about. So 5 W's of budgeting. Who, what, when, where, why. And we're going to add how. Yay. So, should we start with number 1?
No. Okay.
Okay, great. I could skip to 3 if you would rather.
No, let's go.
Number 1, who? Who would benefit from doing a budget? Anybody who makes money. And this includes high school, college kids, even kids young enough that don't have a job but they earn allowance is an excellent time to teach about money management. All the way up through working households and into retirement. Everybody can benefit from learning how to decide where their money goes instead of just being wrangled by the money going. Wrangled. It's a place where a lot of us are.
I hate budgeting.
I know.
You know that. I hate
Yeah.
budgeting.
Yeah. The thing.
But I do budget. I just do it differently. It's just kind of tomato tomato. I look at how much is my base expenses. Then I look at what I need.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my base expenses being what I need. I have to have,
Right.
and then I decide, do I need this? Do I need that?
Mm-hmm.
Then there's a gray area where like, well, I don't really need my Hulu account, but I want it,
Yeah.
or Netflix or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the extra stuff, and depending on how much I'm making that month, because I'm not an employee, I'm an entrepreneur,
Mm-hmm.
then I decide what to do after that. But as long as my base expenses are met.
Right. And I think that's a great approach. The thing that people tend to forget about is to save some of that and not just spend it all.
Mhm.
To allot some for retirement and take advantage of IRAs and create that emergency fund, which can be extremely important.
Also, I always forget to say this, but if you have questions, go ahead and place your questions on the comments on Facebook is the only place you can do that. You can do that on Instagram too. I'm new to the Instagram Live. So you can put comments here. You can also do it on YouTube. Our YouTube channel is Ultra Perform Inc. for my company, Ultra Perform, which is above us there. And but you can find most of the videos on there from the Ultra Life Show and a whole bunch of other videos I've done. But you can subscribe on there because then it'll be good. We'll have more subscribers. So sorry to take us off track, but just if you have any comments or questions, please let us know. And if they're good, we'll respond.
Go good.
So number 2, right?
Yep, number 2. So again, we're doing the 5 W's of budgeting. We did number 1, who, which would be anyone who has money. Number 2 is what. So what is a budget? It sounds like a really scary word, and really I think most people think it's a 4-letter word. Maybe they didn't learn how to spell properly, but it's not. A budget is just a plan for your money, where you're deciding ahead of time what you're going to spend it on. And that's all it is, just a plan.
Just a plan.
And that's also a 4-letter word, but really it sounds way better than budget.
Can you give us an example?
Of plan? Yeah, absolutely. So, and this is what my budget challenge on the website talks about, is everything about budgeting and creating that plan. But what you were talking about is really the way to do it. You decide how much money you have, your income. You make sure it covers your needs. And then you work on balancing your wants with your savings. And there's a weight that
sales.
should be there.
Don't forget sales.
Sales.
Which would be your wants. Sales, like buying chairs.
Right, yeah. Those would be wants.
Wants.
Yes.
Sales are wants. They're not like a must. What she's trying to say is you can skip that sale if they don't fit within your parameter.
Right. There are very few things that we actually need of the things that we want. They're easy to skip, but they're hard mentally. And there's really a psychology behind money. A lot of our behaviors with money are because of what we think about it, not because we can't do it. Yeah.
Good
So,
point.
yeah, 1 and 2.
So
Who and
number
what?
3.
Number 3 is when. When do you do a budget? Well, really now. Immediately at this moment, you can start doing a budget. And again, you can find that budget. It's a 30-day budget builder challenge. I'm going off of the house theme with designing your money mansion, which really is a way to say you get to create your financial house. You have control of what your money looks like. And the 30-day budget builder challenge will take you day by day through how to create a budget. And it's startable immediately. You don't really just jump right into it. There's a little bit of thinking ahead of time. But you can do all of it in a weekend if you're feeling ambitious. You can take the 30 days to go through it. But you can start now. You can start now, next weekend. But really, I say now. Now is the best option.
Now as opposed to after you spend your paycheck?
Exactly. Smart one over here.
Or after you don't make that sale?
For sure.
Depending on employee, entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're an entrepreneur, one thing I could add is that you are supposed to pay yourself. Many entrepreneurs will do everything else and then pay themselves. Even if it's a little bit, if you're low, $50 a week or whatever it is, and then work your way up, whatever that is, to 5,000 a week, 5,000 a day. I don't care, but make sure you pay yourself so you feel that value, because you'll run out of steam eventually.
Good point.
Number 4, is that right?
Yeah, number 4. So again, we're
attention.
well done. We're doing the 5 W's of budgeting. We covered who, which is anyone, what, budget is a plan, 3, when, start now, and number 4, where. Find the budget challenge on my website, which is moneymansion.org. Again, the website is called Designing Your Money Mansion. It's moneymansion.org. And anywhere, really, you can find information on budgeting. This is just a fun, very detailed, and kind of sassy way to get going on the process. I put a little bit of opinion in there. I have some thoughts on things. You don't have to agree with them, which is totally fine. And I know that reaching a lot of people, you cover a lot of situations. And everything doesn't apply to every situation. So if you run across something on the 30-day budget builder challenge and you're like, no, absolutely not, just skip it. It's just fine. Think about it a different way and carry on with what works for you. Yeah. So that's where, number 4.
Something to think about.
Should we do 5?
Yes, we should do 5. I was reading a question, but it's not a good question.
Okay.
Soon, Donovan, soon. I'll fix it soon.
Okay. So number 5 of the 5 W's of budgeting, we did who, what, when, where. Number 5 is why. Why create a budget? Well, really, there are 3 goals ultimately to budgeting. Creating financial freedom, security, and peace of mind. And we can talk about those and how. But those are the real goals, kind of abstract goals of budgeting, to create this happy spot in these different places for yourself.
Like a happy place?
A very happy place. It takes a little work to get there, but what doesn't, right? Yeah.
Well, cool. So, what do you do about when, you were talking about how you feel about it and you make it to, we talked about this before, like you make it feel, sounds easy in a way, right? Like, if you only have a budget of $20 to go out and these tickets are 30 each, and you're supposed to pay 2. You're a guy, so you're supposed to buy 2.
That's very kind.
So what do you do then? And you really need to go to that, but you don't need to.
Wow.
But you really need to take her to that $30 musical or play or whatever it is. What do you do then?
Okay.
Concert.
So remember how I said I get a little sassy and down to earth? Well, this is what I say. You don't need to. You really don't need to. And some relationship advice, if you feel like you need to because that's the only way you're going to progress in the relationship, then maybe you should find somebody that's a little bit more supportive of your financial situation. But what I would say is there are many alternatives to things that we currently spend money on that are cheaper or free. And it takes just a little bit of tweaking and some reminding ourselves that we can do these things. Instead of going to a concert, I don't know, you create a lovely picnic and you go to a park and you do a treasure hunt. I don't know, these are just some options, but you'll come up with more. And if you're motivated to pay off the debt or create the savings and willing to sacrifice the wants that you have, then you will come up with options. You just have to get creative. I put some options on the budget challenge. Again, that's moneymansion.org. And you can find options anywhere online for ideas for free activities or reduced price activities. And if you need more ideas, just give me a call, send me a message. I will let you know some other ideas that I have.
That's good. So you said give you a call. Does that mean you're available for free consultation, or does that work?
Well, I guess I shouldn't have said call. I don't have an option for calling, but on the website there's a blog, and you can share your comments on there, and I'll respond with suggestions and support, which I'm definitely available for because this is a process that requires a little support sometimes. So that's really the best way. You can also email me at glory@moneymansion.org.
Email you?
Yep.
And what will you do? The email.
I will respond to your question.
How much response can someone get? Can they just use you for consultation for free forever, or where would you draw the line?
I haven't run into that yet. I would assume that I wouldn't want to be taken advantage of. But no, I mean, email
I'm just
you.
putting it out there so people know. That,
Yeah,
yeah. Usually I haven't had that problem either, except for one guy. One guy constantly calls me and wants me to give him a ride. He did it yesterday. Like, dude, he worked for me. If you're watching this, he worked for me a year ago. Why do you keep asking for rides? That's all he asked for. Hey, can you give me a ride? No. That's why my answer was nope.
Right. Yeah. No, I'm happy to help people get on the right path and give support and ideas. I won't do the budget for you. That's what the budget challenge is for. And really, day one of the budget challenge is you deciding it's something that you want to do, that you're willing to make the change and put in the effort it takes, not just to create the budget, but to maintain the budget. I can't do that for you.
Good point. Again, how would you deal with those emotions when you see something? Like, how would you? And I've talked about this before, but I think it's probably one of the most powerful things that people have to deal with is that how they feel, like you said. I mean, instead of just, it's how you feel and how, I mean, that's all of it. I mean, it's how you feel with everything, whether you're willing to be persistent and become a Ray Kroc or a Colonel Sanders or a Michael Jordan, or it goes on and on. Grant Cardone, success. All the success people always say persistence and believing in it and whatnot. But that's about. I think I was talking to you today about how they talk from where they're at now, and they do share about the struggle it was, but they're in a different place now. They're not really referring to the struggle it was to decide. I'm just using the $20 or the sale for the chairs or something. How do you train yourself, or beat yourself so you don't buy that stuff, or you don't do this, or you don't do that, or you can tell your friends, hey, I can't go out tonight. And spend $100 or $20, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And because there are consequences to that. There are. Over time, there will be consequences. You won't have those friends anymore, or this, or that relationship, whatever. So how do you deal with that emotional toll it has on you, or the effect, the attachment?
Well, that really kind of takes care of itself in day one with you deciding that this is a change that you want to make. But you have to really find value in it. And there is tremendous value in creating a budget and making sure that you have money when there's a catastrophe in your life, and that you have the money when you get to retirement to survive. It's becoming quite an epidemic that people have not started saving early enough, and they don't have that money when they retire.
It's all about living for the now.
It is, yeah, that's very prevalent. So you have to remember in those moments that there's a bigger picture, and that if you take the money to buy the thing that's not in your budget, then you're taking it from somewhere else that you've already allocated when you were in your right mind, right? Not when you're in the heat of the moment and that impulse purchase. And so it requires remembering your goal, which you've set up, and you trust yourself. And secondly, it's really beneficial, like I was saying, to have support. I mean, utilize the website and the blog posts and ask people for suggestions and for help, and somebody talk me down, whatever. But really, the best way to do that is to let everybody in your world know that you are changing paths. Say, hey, look, things are going to look a little bit differently for me for a while. So if you ask me to do something and I'm not able to, don't think that I don't care about you or whatever the situation is. But instead, maybe we can do this. Yeah,
Coffee
exactly.
And I say coffee because it's cheap. Tea, coffee.
Mhm.
Unless you're going to the wrong place, like the place next door, I don't like place.
Yeah.
But I love it. It's great. It's like it's more expensive, but it's right there. It's right there. So I save on time.
Mhm.
Yeah, coffee. You can even if they're good friends. My good friends have done this before too. Hey, I can't tonight. I'll cover it
Mhm.
because they know it comes back. You know, if
Mhm.
they're a good friend.
Yeah.
If you can plan it to come back.
Mhm. Right. And then those people are going to start thinking about different things to do as well. And you know, maybe you'll start reaching other people who are willing to take on a new way of money thinking with you. But really, if you let your world know that, hey, you know, gifts are going to look a little bit different for Christmas this year, then they're expecting that in advance, and you don't have to be worried about the repercussions in the moment as much.
Mm.
And I do cover gifts in the Budget Builder Challenge because that is a very big area where people have hangups in their mind about what they can and can't do when it comes to gifts.
Mm.
Like, I have to spend $1,000 on my kids at Christmas time. No, you really don't. You have to let your kids know that they're loved, and that doesn't take the shape of $1,000 gift. So,
Ooh, you should share about your kids a little bit
oh,
because they're amazing kids.
yeah,
I mean,
they are.
yeah.
Okay.
It shows obviously you must have been a good mother.
Mhm. Thanks. Okay, so a little bit about my background then. I became a Susie Orman fan. If you don't know who that is, look her up. Probably 15 years ago or so. And I had always been into budgeting, but because of Susie, I really I added in saving for retirement and changing the shape of my budget. My kids grew up with that, and so they don't see me spend a lot of money on gifts, and they don't see me do extravagant things unless I've budgeted for it, and I do. There are things that I save for, and that's something that not a lot of people learn how to do, and that's save instead of credit, right? So because they've seen me do this for so long, they appreciate it. And my oldest daughter, who is a senior in high school, tells me, "Thank you, Mom, for showing me how to budget and teaching me the importance of money," because now she has a good financial foundation to start her own financial life. And that includes things like avoiding student loans, which is super prevalent. Most adults still have student loans.
I know people that have student loans and they're in their 40s.
Yeah.
And I was like, you have a student loan? Oh my God.
Yeah. So if you start
Oh.
saving when you're young for college, as well as doing other options, such as trying out a community college for a couple of years before you move into a university, or staying in state versus going out of state. I suspect that most degrees don't matter where they come from when it comes to getting a job.
Mm.
Most. I know.
It depends.
Yeah, I know mine didn't.
So brag a little more about your kids if you could. If you don't want to, that's fine. Because they're pretty unique. That's why I'm bringing it up.
Okay, well, I'm not sure exactly what you want me to say about them.
4.0 students.
Oh, yeah, I do.
Doing higher level classes.
Mhm. I have very smart kids, and it doesn't necessarily come from anything that I particularly taught them, but more, I guess, how we shape the family and things that we choose to prioritize. And also genetics. I mean, sometimes smarts, just come from
90 seconds.
parents. Yes, both of my girls are doing accelerated classes. I have one who's in junior high as well as taking high school classes, one who's in high school as well as taking her second year and college classes, so she'll have her associates by the time she graduates from high school. So
That's pretty
I'm
neat.
yeah, it
That's
is pretty
pretty
cool.
neat, yeah.
It's pretty cool, and I'm hoping that they utilize those smarts to create their financial future now.
Okay. Well, thank you for being on, Glory. Great information. You can find her information at moneymansion.org.
.org.
Moneymansion.org.
Mhm.
And you also had another name? Design Your Money.
Yeah, the name of the website is Designing Your Money Mansion, and it's located at moneymansion.org. And on the website, you'll find the 30-day Budget Builder Challenge. And we'll also be adding some informational videos where I'll interview financial professionals and give you more financial information than just budgeting.
Great. And maybe there's a book in your future about all this.
Oh, there could be.
And I think that's your next step. So keep an eye out for our show, ultralifeshow.com, found on blogtalkradio.com/ultralife or ultralifeshow.com. And you can also check out our sponsor, Ultra Perform, with products named Accelerator and Wow and Kick Butt Energy. Just go to ultraperform.com for locations or purchase right there. See you guys later. Watch our show tomorrow, 5 o'clock with Dixie. Bye.
Bye.
Or listen.